Okay, let's rewind a day. Yesterday started with rainfall. The afternoon, things started to look a little better. We still had some showers well into the evening. Today was sunshine, offshore winds, early 8:05 webcams. Cameras rocking around in the wind out there. High pressure is trying to build back into the area. Talk a little bit more about that. Again, a couple of clouds out there. Temperatures currently in the 50s and 60s. Santa Barbara 64, but the wind's light there. Elsewhere, the winds are strongly onshore at about 15 to 20 miles per hour, even after we saw some morning offshore flow. What's ahead for us? Okay, let's take a look at the modeling here. You can see the winds dying down by the time we get to 10 o'clock. And in fact, they start turning offshore. So here you go, by 4 a.m., it's an offshore wind, locally gusty, Cuesta grade. We're going to see some gusts past 20 miles per hour, but generally it's about a 10 to 20 mile per hour offshore push. Then late in the morning, it stalls out and the winds start coming back onshore, and like today, locally breezy. Why is that? Well, as the landmass warms up, you start to get a little bit of rising air. That creates conditional low pressure. And what happens is that more dense, cool air starts coming back in from the coast. So that's your typical sea breeze, and it is very dependent on both the strength of the pressure and the strength of the warming. So this time of year, we tend to see both the breezy offshore and onshore in the afternoon. 8:05 webcams looking pretty good today. Again, just a couple of afternoon clouds here and there, but again, nice forecast. Bottom of your screen, you can see that 7-day, 10-day on my app. 8 to 12 feet out there, the high surf advisory through 10 o'clock tonight. So again, that breeze out there pretty significant. You can see another trough is making its way at the west coast. Here's the thing. It's going to hit the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, but down here we've got enough high pressure that it's just going to keep us kind of locked in with temperatures near average. Again, watch the system coming in here. It essentially just stays deflected to the north. We've got a series of similar systems in my forecast here as we go through the rest of the week. Now, as we get to the upcoming weekend and enter next week, a larger ridge of high pressure is going to deflect the storm path even further north. That allows us to warm additionally. So the 8 to 14 day is above average in warmth and drier than average. But note, up here in the Pacific Northwest, we'll start to see some rainfall. So again, we're just too far away from the storm path right now. All right, let's take a look at some numbers here. The overnight lows are also interesting because now that the skies have cleared out, the air is starting to dry out. We're going to be near freezing in the interior again tonight, yet still see those daytime highs close to 70 degrees. Beach communities with that morning offshore flow, we should see some of these temperatures hit the mid-60s. Briefly until we start to see that onshore flow by late in the afternoon. We're back into the lower 60s, I think. Santa Ynez Valley temperatures right around 70 degrees. Cuyama Valley starting near freezing, but still near 70 degrees in the afternoon. Set it and forget it for the rest of the week. Maybe a little bit of warming into the weekend, but that's when more significant warming begins and continues into early next week. I've got upper 70s and low 80s for SLO and Paso Robles on Monday and Tuesday, and Santa Maria and Santa Barbara mid to upper 70s. Back after this.